Welcome to Catholic Views. I'm your host, Renee Kranz. On today's show, we will have John Hanson in the studio. He is the South Dakota legislature from District 25. I got it right that time. And he will be here to talk about two things very related to each other. He's been here before to talk about this topic, but we wanted an update. So this is on the decline to sign the abortion amendment that a group is trying to get on the South Dakota ballot for next year. He's going to talk about where they are, again, what the bill is that they want to put on the ballot, and why we should not sign the petition to get it on the ballot, because we just do not want it there. John is fantastic on this stuff, and if you ever wanted a time to have a good Catholic in the South Dakota legislature, he is it, and we're so glad to have him there. The other topic we're going to talk about towards the end. So this is a good one. Here's a little teaser. This is going to be about what can a priest say from the pulpit regarding politics. Some of you may be surprised at what is actually allowed and not allowed. Legally, yes. And what the church says about it, actually, because there's many misconceptions about that. So we talk about that towards the end, so stick around for the whole thing. After all that, first we have Dr. Chris Bergwald here for Biblical Bites with Dr. B.
Hey, Renee. So it's going to be here on take 17, I think, of our attempts.
Wow.
Good thing it's not a live show. It would be more interesting, actually, if it were.
It would be a lot funnier.
It would be. So we're going to dive right in. What Sunday are we looking at?
32nd.
That's correct. So we've just got a couple more Sundays
we're
here.
Getting close.
Advent's coming. You know what that means.
Purple?
Christmas shopping.
I don't even think about that. Okay. I just no.
We've the last couple of weeks talked about how the theme of the readings for these next couple of Sundays of Ordinary Time take a turn towards last things.
Yes.
Final judgment, but also kind of for us too. Preparing. So the gospel, which we're not going to focus on today, but the gospel is Jesus talking about, this is from Matthew 25, the parable of 10 virgins taking their lamps to meet the bridegroom.
Oh, yeah.
5 of them didn't have enough, 5 did, what that all means.
Bring your oil, ladies.
Yeah, bring your oil. Just the one thing I'll say, wasn't it kind of mean of the ones who had extra? They didn't share. What? Are we supposed to love people and share with them what we have? Renee?
Well, that's a good question.
Elise?
Maybe that's another
great question.
Biblical. I feel like if they have been irresponsible, and I want to say something, I'm probably going to get myself in trouble, so I'm just going to back away now.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. Yeah, I think that's best. I can't share my relationship with God with somebody else.
Oh.
They can have their own. And I want them to have their own.
Because that's what the oil symbolizes.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
that's way better than what I was going to say. I'm glad I backed away.
The relationship I have with Jesus is obviously, by definition, my relationship with Jesus. I can't give it to you.
Right.
You can have your own, but I can't give you mine.
Sure. Okay.
But we're not talking about that.
Okay.
The first reading is from the Book of Wisdom.
Okay.
And I just want to talk a little bit about this reading. So the Book of Wisdom is one of the last. Many scholars think it's actually the last book of the Old Testament written. It may have been written in the 1st century BC.
Oh, okay.
Some even think it may have been actually written in the 1st century AD, potentially.
Oh, wow.
Even after Jesus was born. It's like, well, how can it be the Old Testament? Well, maybe if you started preaching or whatever.
Right.
So it's probably the last book of the Old Testament written. So the transition from the Old Covenant
know who wrote it?
to the New Covenant. Nope.
Okay.
It's called the Wisdom of Solomon, but in honor of Solomon, because Solomon lived
right.
centuries, almost 1,000 years before that.
Right.
But the focus of this reading is on wisdom. And Renee, actually, it's really worth sort of a slow read. I would really encourage people who have time now to do a slow read of it and just meditate on this reading. The thing that I want to focus on, though, so it's called the Book of Wisdom. The focus of this reading is on wisdom. Renee, what would you say, is wisdom the same as knowledge?
No.
Elise, would you say wisdom is the same as knowledge?
No.
Okay. How would you articulate the difference?
I would say wisdom is the good use of knowledge.
Oh.
Or the right use of knowledge.
To use, when you use it, it's
you have
for
knowledge,
something.
Yeah, but you have knowledge, but you use it in the right way. Not
Okay.
like, for good, not evil.
Okay.
I don't know.
Elise, any thoughts? How might you articulate the difference between wisdom and knowledge?
I think Renee said it
Oh,
proper.
come
No,
on.
you-
No, seriously though. Like,
Okay.
well,
Okay. That's fine.
I would probably use the same words.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
probably-
right or not, but that's
no,
fine.
there's not really
There can be a right answer, and mine might not be it. It's okay.
no. So the way that I would articulate it, which is not it's not in opposition to what you said. Wisdom. So knowledge is sort of about. In some ways, it could be knowledge is about the details, and wisdom is about the big picture.
Sure. Yeah.
And the thing that I just want to invite our listeners to consider today, we know a lot in our culture. Our culture knows a lot, but are we wise? I don't think we are. So my invitation: read this reading and then pray for wisdom for yourself, but for our culture in general as well, because we need it.
Yeah. That's some really good advice. Thanks, Dr. B.
You bet.
We do